There's no point.
So Leroy was nerfed less than 2 months after he was released, right? And how many months with Fahkumram? He's been slightly nerfed, but yeah, like with the accidental thing, it's just like we talked a lot about on the podcast about like neutral tools are just really, really important in this game. Just like basic stuff like range. Like Shaheen is really, really good. Because Shaheen is a tall character with long range. Yeah. His down forward 1, his down forward 2, and his hop kick and everything. Like it just has long range, and his kicks and everything. Long range, because he is tall and he has long limbs. He just has decent movement, and this makes him good. The same was true of Bob. Like, has always pretty much been true of Bob. But one of the things that makes him incredible is just he has super long range on his moves, because he's stupidly tall.
Yeah.
Need to stop doing this. Like, Leroy was a concerted attempt to make a broken character by like taking all the things that people talk about as being devastatingly good and then just chucking them all into one character so that he could be on the surface. People would see him. Fahkumram feels accidental because he's always all the things that no one ever talks about as being good in Tekken, which are actually still incredibly good. He just has really good range, really good movement, and really good unflashy neutral buttons, which both makes him insanely good. I would argue that he is at least, released Fahkumram, I would argue has about the same level of tournament and deathmatch consistency as Leroy did. He's winning about as much, which is pretty much almost everything. But there are still tournaments which are being won by other people. But just incredibly unflashy, and it's also absolute cancer to watch. I would ban him just because he's ugly. He's ugly. He's way uglier to watch than even Leroy was. Like, this character is, and he's never going to be interesting to watch. Like, no one's ever going to be like, hell yeah, there's a Fahkumram in there. Even like the people who've won tournaments with him, they're not playing Fahkumram in casuals because the character is hideous to play. Like, you can tell this by watching him. Like, delete him. He's never going to be good. He's never going to be fun. Just nerf him into the ground. Make him like a Gigas, so only like the people who really love him for how he looks because they're weird, play him. Like, just nerf him into the absolute dirt because he looks like. Gigas is also incredibly boring to play as and against. Like, it's not fun at all. But like, he's trash, so it doesn't matter. He needs to go down to Gigas tier. And that will ban him.
I don't know, because he's canon though, so I don't think he's going anywhere.
Fire him out of a cannon.
I just don't think he's going anywhere. And I don't share yourself. I don't think he's as ugly as you say. I see what they try. You can see what they're trying to do. They wanted to put a really physically imposing character in there, and I think they've done that with just his size and his dominance. I don't think they got it right, but the whole wall stun thing, if you don't block, I don't mind that if the mix-up wasn't so difficult. But then if you don't make it so difficult, then it falls into uselessness. So I don't mind. I see what they're trying to do. I just think they've missed the mark and accidentally created a beast in the process. And I mean, a lot of people talk about balancing characters. I don't think it's easy to balance characters. I don't think it's always as simple as just adjusting their frames. And you know, your game can go through a QA cycle, and your QA can test it, but it only gets tested really once it gets to the player's hands, and they discover the worst that the character can do because they're just more inventive, more creative. You know, they're the ones, they're the target audience. So, I mean, you look at what happened to Lars. Lars fell off a mountain. I mean, he's typical Mishima. Like, he just fell off a mountain. And that's an example of overdoing it.
Do you miss seeing Lars in tournament?
No, but I feel bad for what they've done to him. Like, it's hard to no, it's too much. Like,
no, he can stay. He can stay where he is. That character was crusty crackers with no butter. Like, he can stay where like the people who love him can play him, and everyone else can be thankful that they're not playing against Lars anymore because he's boring and he sucks.
No, like what they've done to him is embarrassing. It's too
He's
much.
fine. He's fine.
He's not fine. He's
fine.
So to me, I just hope that they don't do something like that to Fak. But I don't know how you balance him. It's one of the things I really like that they did for Kuma. Like Kuma was too much, and they managed to find ways to buff him, to nerf him, without taking away the essence of the character. Yeah, but and I think that's really hard to do. I think some of the things that people complain about, if you end up tweaking them too much, the character just loses the character loses their essence, and that's happened to Lars. Lars is just anything now. Just with a few tweaks.
The difference with Akuma though is that Akuma is cool and fun. These Lars and Fak are bollocks. No one likes them.
Lars, I'll give you that. Fahkumram, I don't think so. I think he's got some stuff.